Hey, welcome back. Today, we're diving into a habit that is absolutely essential for long-term success. But honestly, it's usually the first thing we ditch when things get crazy. It's called sharpening the saw, and really getting a handle on this could completely change the way you look at your daily grind. So, let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel? You're so busy doing the work that you have no time to get better at the work? Too swamped to learn that new skill or just take a break? Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. To really get why this happens, let's use a great little story. So picture a woodcutter out in the forest. He's been sawing away at trees for days on end, and you can just see it. With every swing, he's getting more and more exhausted, the work is getting harder, and progress is slowing way down. Then someone happens to walk by and sees him struggling. They offer a pretty simple piece of advice. They say, hey, excuse me, but if you just stopped for a little bit to sharpen your saw, you'd be able to cut through those trees way faster. And what does the woodcutter say? Without even looking up, he shoots back, I'm too busy sawing. Now, that sounds totally ridiculous, right? But how often are we that woodcutter, just pushing and pushing with a tool that's getting duller by the minute? And that story right there perfectly sets up habit 7, sharpen the saw. It's all about this idea of balanced self-renewal. You can think of it as the habit that makes all the other habits even possible. So what do we actually mean by renewal? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the habit of hitting pause on purpose. You're intentionally taking time to recharge so you don't burn out. It's preventative maintenance for you. And this is so important because it totally reframes what self-care means. It isn't selfish and it isn't an indulgence. It's a strategy. It's about taking care of your greatest asset, which is you, so you can actually be effective over the long haul. Okay, so the idea makes sense, but how do we actually do it? Well, the good news is there's a system. The principle is broken down into 4 key areas, giving us a really clear, systematic way to sharpen our own saw. And here they are, the 4 dimensions of you that all need regular tune-ups: the physical, the mental, the social/emotional, and the spiritual. Let's just quickly touch on what each of these means. First up, we've got the physical side. This is all about taking care of your body. The machine that gets you through the day. And we're not just talking about being a gym rat. It's the whole package: getting good exercise, quality sleep, and fueling yourself with decent nutrition. This is the foundation for everything. Second is the mental dimension. Look, your education didn't end with your last diploma. This is all about keeping your mind sharp and curious. It's about constantly learning, whether that's through reading books, watching documentaries, or just trying new things that stretch your brain a bit. Third is the social and emotional dimension. This one is huge. We are wired for connection, and that part of us needs recharging too. This means being intentional about investing time and energy into your key relationships, practicing empathy, and really building up that support network around you. And finally, we have the spiritual dimension. Now, this doesn't have to be about religion at all. It's really about connecting with your core, your personal values, your sense of purpose, your why. You find it in things that bring you a sense of peace and clarity, like meditation, a walk in nature, or listening to music. It's what keeps you centered. So the bottom line is this: making time for all 4 of these things isn't a luxury. It's not something you do if you have time. It's an investment that pays off in a huge way. Let's look at the return you get when you actually do it. It really comes down to 2 very different paths. If you neglect the saw, you head straight for burnout. Your productivity tanks, your stress goes through the roof, and your life just feels completely out of whack. But if you practice renewal, you create this amazing upward spiral. Your productivity actually goes up, you handle stress better, and you find a real sense of balance. So to put it all together, when you consistently take the time to sharpen your saw, the results are incredible. Your ability to get things done and solve problems actually increases. You become more resilient to stress. And you know what? Your life doesn't just feel more balanced, it feels more meaningful. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Just take a second and look at those 4 dimensions again: physical, mental, social/emotional, and spiritual. Right now in your life, which one of those needs a little bit of sharpening the most?